Welcome back to episode 7 of Back to Square 1.1. And in this episode, we're going to talk about focus. What are your focuses? What are you focusing on? And what to do next? Because that's a big thing. Once you get to a certain point, what are you doing next? And we're going to start off by finishing up this light dungeon. What do we get? Please be the Bella dungeon opening. Nope, but we do get an essence. So right now I'm focusing on getting the light Inugami. It's a little late. We're in the last few hours of reset for EU. So the global reset. So won't be able to do too much there. So but we won't worry about it. We'll get it. We'll get it eventually. We're still not strong enough to clear it all in one time and get all the dungeon pieces that we'll need anyway. But we've made a lot of progress from the last few episodes, and we currently have all of the scenario completed. We have the dimensional rift open, which we haven't done yet. Not quite important yet, but I pretty much did what I was explaining to you guys in the earlier videos by just going in, went to the thing, took out somebody, put one of our reps in. Well, we used all the reps. Did one person delete me? I think they did. Yeah, I only needed them to complete, even though I didn't need them. But we put the reps in. I had to do a couple little crystal refreshes, which I don't quite recommend to burn your crystals out on refreshing after losing. But for sake of making this content for you guys, I had to do what I had to do. So you know how that goes, right? Do what I say, not what I do, that kind of thing. So you can see that this is Mount White Dragon was the only one that has a 2-star max, because I've been farming this area trying to get those swift sets. I've got most of the slot 2 speed I need, so really I just been farming stage 7 to try to get something randomly decent. And that's kind of where you want to just put most of your focus at, is right here for the most part. Unless you're farming for skill ups for your monsters, like you can go to more desert. You see the drop info. You can get Bernard skill ups here, so you can sit and farm that for days and get skill ups for Bernard. I'm not quite doing that yet, but like skill ups for Shannon, you can get those from just summoning unknown scrolls or checking the shop to see if anything is in there. I've been getting plenty of skill ups for Colleen. Like generally, you have skill ups in here for the 2-star monsters that you have. But speaking of the 2-star monsters and the monsters that they give you for the essence farming, generally these monsters are not going to be useful until you start to farm around B6, mostly B7 and above. Once you get into that B7 hump, that's when these monsters are going to be strong, are going to be need mostly, and you're going to want to 4-star them at that time. For now, you're just holding on to them because your general starting team or whatever monsters you're currently using, they'll be fine farming the earlier stages. Is once things get a little more difficult and it's really hard for you to progress, then you want to start focusing on these monsters. However, for the challenges, you do want to have these monsters handy and ready. You can just put on whatever random leftover runes you have sitting around on them, just so you can be able to complete the challenge that you need for those monsters and their skills. Now moving on. Also, I have been doing a little Karos. I have yet to touch the dragon or necropolis. Don't really care to do that yet, or even bother. I use some of my friend reps to open some of the later stages up. Not quite ready for that B5 life, because you're going to be in B5 for a while once you get there. Right now I've been farming B4, especially since I got Lapis on the Vampire Revenge set. Since I got this set from completing the one challenge, now she's able to pretty much I wouldn't say solo the giant in B4, but she pretty much, if everybody else die, she can clean up pretty well, and she does a considerable amount of damage to it. So she survives, but she can solo the Fame on normal, which I had to complete that challenge. I had to do some refreshing, and I believe with the team she can do hard mode pretty well. I haven't tried her hard mode solo, but she can do normal by herself, which is pretty cool. But after you get the few rooms that you need, let's go here. Just to, like Bernard, you see Bernard, he has a basic little Swift set, just whatever I was able to farm up at the time, and I will improve it as we go along and as we get better runes. So he has those. I don't normally keep him with me. Normally it's Konamiya, because now we've been building on Konamiya. So we just got whatever little randoms on Konamiya. We still got a lot of work because we got 2 and 3 star runes. We want to start pushing into that 4-star rune category to where we can start getting more consistency and get a little stronger, so we can start getting 5-star runes, because that stuff is critically important. And once we get into GB5, GB6, we'll be able to do that. So we're just kind of working our way towards it. Now we can consistently farm before we'll be able to get a few random runes that's going to be able to push us into the next level. So I've been bouncing back and forth. If I feel like I want to do White Ragon, I go there, but if not, I come back to the Giant. And I've been spending a lot of time with the Giant, because you're going to get more mana here as well from just farming a Giant. We'll do a Giant's run. One thing that's critically important that I tell people is to watch your runs, and this is even for like mid-game players, later game players, is you want to watch your runs to actually see what your monster's doing. Like, once you get to a point where you're starting to, worry about what rune set you have on your monsters. Are your monsters fast enough? Like Konami just cleansing. Are they cleansing when they need to cleanse? Are they healing when they need to be healed? Are they landing debuffs? Are they not landing them? How much damage they're doing? How much damage they're not doing? Are they missing things? Just those general rules of thumbs. Like, who is the weak link? Is someone getting focused down and they're dying too fast? Or if they get focused down, they're still making it, maybe barely. Like, do they need more HP? Do they need more defense? Do they need more attack? Are you missing critical hits? She just landed all of those. Laggy as all ever. Just these little things. You want to kind of pay attention and see what your monster's doing, seeing what's going on, just so you can know who's surviving decently and who's not. So you can know what to do and how to improve and get better as you go along, because it's real important to know what's going on all the time with your monsters, because if you don't, you'll be confused at why you keep failing, why things are not working out right, and why does Lapis solo the B4 Giant all the damn time, because she can do that. She's about that life. But after completing the scenario, you do get the option of a 5-star rune pick that's of a hero grade of your choice between Fatal, Blade, and Energy. Fatal is where you want to go, because you're going to want to have a set just for your damage dealer or your farmer for your Giant's progression. Now, this is a great farming set for Lapis to have. So yeah, if you get this, once you get this set, that's great for you to be able to put that on her. But once you pull another monster, let's just say you so happen to pull Lucian, you want to have this. I'm lagging a little bit, so bear with it. You want to be able to have these runes ready for them. I think they're all, not that one. Alright, my tablet's on point. My app is just running really bad. So is it this one? Yep, that one. So you kind of want to have these runes handy. You might not use this one. I prefer you put a crit rate rune in here or crit damage depending on how the runes roll. If you get above 60 to 65% crit rate in subs, then you'll put a crit damage rune here. Doesn't matter if it's a 3 or a 4-star. If just whatever you have to make it work. But I'm not going to continue to go on through the rest of the runes, because we're not going to use those for Lapis. We want to wait till we pull something decent and then put those runes on that monster. So we come to the end of this episode, and this is the Gamer Dude signing out. I really hope this had been beneficial. We leveled up in an episode. GG. So that means we can do more stuff. Oh, and before I forget, if you made it this far through the series and you do have some questions that you want to ask, feel free to shoot me an email at gamerdude2088@gmail.com, and I'll reply back as soon as I can. You can also, send that follow to the Twitch stream and come out, hang out at Twitch. I generally answer questions and all that stuff live as well. That's probably the best way to do things, so you can just hear me just explain things to you a million times, saying the same stuff over and over and over and over till it bleeds through your ears. You're like, I got it, gamer. Shut the fuck up. That kind of stuff. So you can do that. I generally stream Monday nights. Wednesday nights is when we do rune optimization, the purge, and sometimes account reviews. Saturday mornings and Saturday evenings, and I believe I said and Sunday nights. The night streams are generally 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 8 Central, 6 Pacific, and the morning stream on Saturday, it's a random time during the morning. It can be 3 a.m. my time, it can be 6 a.m. my time. It all depends on how I feel and when I wake up or when I decide to stream during the morning. So just be around, make sure you have that notification thing, bar thing, whatever it is, just ready so you get the notification when I stream during the morning. And sometimes I might do a random stream during my off days sometimes, but it's not a guarantee though it's gonna happen. And collect all the goodies. Well, we'll be back. Not sure where we're gonna go on or what we're gonna talk about next. Probably gonna take some time just to work on the account so we can get into that next phase of the game, so we can give you some really good content. I think I'm at the point where we can start doing 1 episode a week, because I'm gonna have to grind this account while you grind your account, so we can get to that next phase. So once again, I'm out.